Hello. Welcome to Ram and Goat Astrology, and this is another episode of the Rambling Ram, and I am Laura Lee. Thank you for joining me. Today is going to be just a short one, just a little chat to touch base and see how you're all doing. And I really wanted to share a couple stories or examples of some things that I experience on a regular basis. And the reason I want to do this is because I saw a reel maybe last night on TikTok, and it was a man that works at a psych ward, and he was telling a story about a young woman who had come to check herself in. And she was checking herself in because she was starting to experience profound level of voices in her head. So he checks her in, and she starts, get familiar with the place, and she starts walking around. They have almost like a track that they walk around the room or the floor or whatever, just to kind of get acclimated and do something with themselves. And every time she'd walk past the front desk or wherever this man was, she would smile and giggle and, kind of act funny, a little goofy. And then finally, about the fourth or fifth time, he stopped her and he was like, why are you laughing? What's going on, girl? And she said, I think I know your mom's name. And he was like, oh, okay. She said, is your mom's name Stephanie? And he said, yeah, that's weird that you would know that, but okay, not impossible to figure out, but a little weird that this girl he has no affiliation with, no connection with, no nothing, and she would just know his mom's name. And then she said, well, is she from this state here? And he was like, yeah, which was not the state they were in, random state somewhere else. And he got really weirded out, and he's like, what the heck? And she goes, well, I know your mom's name too. And he's like, yeah, okay, sure. And he knew that was not a thing, but he's playing along. And she said, is your grandma's name Claire? And he's like, what is happening? And she started giggling, and she's like, well, the voices have been telling me things, and I just wanted to use you as the first test subject to see if I was right. And then she walks on, and he said this was the weirdest experience he's ever had. And I wanted to stop and just honor this girl who thinks she's crazy and schizophrenic and put herself in a psych ward, because she's not. She's very intuitively gifted, and the voices she's hearing are voices of spirit. Now, is everybody who's gifted, or who is hearing voices, are they all gifted and psychically tuned in? I don't know. But this experience, this story, resonated with me because I struggled for years thinking that I was legit crazy. I thought I should be putting myself in a mental health center because I hear voices a lot. Schizophrenia was something I was scared to talk about or to talk to people about because I kind of, quote unquote, fit the criteria, right? The diagnosis is not all of them, and certainly not to a big extent in this sort of department of should I check myself in. But it was enough where I was scared. I was scared for years. And now I have been able to not only recognize that it is a gift and it is my talent and it is a skill, but it is spirit. I do have a whole team of spirit homies back there that are chatting with me. And now that I understand they're not me, they're separate from me, and they use me as a vessel to give me information about clients or people around me that need the information. Now that I recognize that, the feeling of craziness has gone away. The feeling of, not really totally, because I still think I'm a little loony, but the overall feeling of am I okay? Should I be functioning out in society? Is there something wrong with me? Those feelings are gone, completely gone. And I felt so much empathy for this girl in this story, who I will never know and will never reach, and never, it just won't happen to connect with her. At least I don't think so. But if you guys are experiencing this, our 3D reality does not have a lot of terminology, words, or jargon to use for having a spiritual awakening. We just don't. We don't honor it. We don't support it. We don't typically, and these are all typical phrases I'm saying, right? As a societal whole, there are obviously groups and support out there, but it's challenging to find a safe place to discuss some of the more subtle nuances that come along with psychic abilities, mediumship abilities, claircognizance, all of the clairs, clairvoyance, all of the different ways people get messages. Now, this girl clearly had some clair abilities, and hearing that was one of them. And I just felt so strongly for her. Not bad, but just strongly. I felt very, very empathetic towards her because I feel like I was on the verge of that. I was on the verge years ago. 2017, 2018 was when I was really struggling. I felt like spirit was like boom, 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 breaking down the door of my psyche so that I would finally tune in and listen. And that breaking down the door was me deciding, what do I do? Do I go check in? Do I get medication? Do I talk to a doctor about this? Like, what do I do? And I ended up leaning in to meditation. I ended up leaning into personal development. I started leaning into reading and learning about mediumship and psychic abilities. Learned about Dolores Cannon. Started connecting with other people who can also do these things, and heard their stories, and their stories were very similar to mine. This kind of waking up energy and this apprehension. I want to talk about it because I don't know who this podcast will reach. I have no idea the people that this will reach. I hope it reaches the right people that need to hear this. We are spiritual souls, spiritual things, having a physical experience. And our spirituality is waking up. It is happening. Our connectivity is tuning in, getting stronger. It's very much like the internet. It keeps getting stronger and stronger. Years ago, we had dial-up, and we had to have the physical connectivity and the all of the noises to connect, right? It was difficult. It was like a baby learning how to walk. Fall down a bunch of times, get back up. The internet was difficult and cumbersome, and now it is speedy. It's in the palm of my hand. I don't have to be connected to anything. I go into this store, they have Wi-Fi. I go to that place, they have Wi-Fi. There's just connectivity everywhere. That's happening to us as well, to our brains. Our squishy tissue in our noggin here is so affected by frequencies. Of course we would be leveling up. Of course we would be expanding. Of course this would be happening on a bigger scale as the internet reaches more corners of the globe, as more satellites keep getting put out there. That is exactly what we would be experiencing. And now with the advent of TikTok and Reels and all of this getting information to people faster and faster, these stories are coming out more and more. And I just want people to know that if this is happening to you, I don't think you're schizophrenic, and I don't think you need to go check into a psych ward. That is funny though. I do think you have some abilities. Now, if you're thinking of harming yourself, if there's things like that, yes, please go get help. This is not like doctor advice. You know that. Come on. Disclaimer, I'm not giving you medical advice. And I also think medical advice is sometimes skewed and inaccurate, and that people aren't crazy or schizophrenic or bipolar or need medication, and maybe they just need to work with a medium to help them hone into their abilities and learn how to tap in and adjust their radio dial to the right frequency and accept that this is part of their gift and what they came here to do. A lot of us signed up in our birth chart to be able to connect with spirit. A lot of us have that. My moon is in the 12th house, so my emotions are very connected with spirit. I signed up for that. My Mercury is in Pisces. Yes, my brain wants to talk to spirit. My heart and mind want spiritual connection. Yes, it's in my programming. 100% right there. So this is something that I think once I fully understood that and deeply integrated it, I started to accept and appreciate, and suddenly the fear went away, the nervousness, the apprehension, the angst, the anxiousness, the anxiety, all of that went away when I really started to embrace that, oh, I absolutely have essentially the spirit equivalent of the British Parliament that follows me around and is literally behind me, dropping just random opinions and ideas in my head all the time. Now, this gets even more amplified, I have discovered, when I do astrology readings for people. So that's like the on button or the go juice, right? When the spirit really can funnel that information to me and through me, utilizing me as a vessel. And that's been something I have been very open to and appreciative of. And I know that, and I let clients know that, and I tell people like, hey, it's me and my spirit team, and we're going to get you the message that you need to hear today, whether that is something to work on, whether that's something to accept about yourself, whether that's take action, whatever, but we're going to get you the message. And sometimes the message is nothing like what my human self thought it was going to be. Usually we end up going down this rabbit hole and curving around here and going around this bend and find this message kind of hidden, nuanced in there somewhere. And it's always fun and always surprising to me when this happens. So I really enjoy and appreciate the opinions and the messages and the energetics that come through. Now, the various clairs, claircognizance, clairvoyance, I can look at them up and see what they all are. But basically, it's some people hear things. Some people see visions, actually like see spirits, see things. Some people know things, like it's this physical, visceral knowing in their body, right? You carry it like in your gut or your legs, or just you'll feel it. And some people have an emotional connection, right, where they'll absorb people's energy physically in their heart space with their emotions. And so everybody does this a little bit differently. Some people can do them all, and they intermix. There's not one right way, wrong way. It's just, again, our programming. So for me, my heart and my mind get very connected in a really easy way when I'm chatting, when I'm open to source, and when I'm open to spirit messages, and especially when I'm connecting with another person. Like that Gemini moon, that other person there really helps to activate that channel and that vessel for me. So when I'm doing a reading or when I'm talking with somebody, I will be in a conversation, and suddenly I will get an image in like my forehead, like someone turned on a movie theater picture and I'm watching a movie. Or sometimes it'll feel in my heart, like I just feel this like, oh, or this energetics, or it's a feeling that really comes strong. And then with the feeling, then suddenly the picture forms in the movie theater. So for me, it almost feels like this cyclical cycle of like comes in my heart, goes to my mind, and then out my mouth, right? This cycle of energy. And the more I tune into it, the more I give it space and time, and I go, oh, okay, I'm feeling this energy of this. Oh, now I'm getting a picture of this. Okay. Then I keep describing that to the client, and I keep pulling that energy out of and describing the picture, almost like a puzzle coming together. Then the client usually will say something like, oh my gosh, I just did that yesterday, or oh my gosh, I just thought that this morning, or oh my gosh, I was going to take action this afternoon on that. Like it's usually something they were thinking about while brushing their teeth, or somebody gave them a book on that subject yesterday. It's something they've already gotten a ping on, and now here I come with my bigger pings and ping, ping, pingity ping, right, and light them up. And that for me is the confirmation that I'm looking for from spirit, that I'm on the right path, I'm doing the right thing. And then I trust. The key to this whole thing is to surrender and listen and hear and feel and however it comes, and then to trust. Trust the process. Sometimes the trust has to, you have to take a deep breath during the trust. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. Ooh, this is weird, but I'm trusting that this is what I have to do. And I've had a lot of moments like that. I'm trusting that this is what this client needs to hear. Man, this is strange. I did a reading the other day. Oh my gosh. Spirit kept showing me. I never met this client before. I don't know if she's listening, but if she is, I'm going to give her a shout out. She is in Southern California. And she was referred to me by someone, so never met her. And I kept seeing her in a jazz club, like just jazz club. And then I would see her in like a big group of like really, really like a large concert hall or concert thing. And then I got like the Family Feud X over the top of that one. Like, no. So it was very clear. Here's this example. No. And then this jazz club where it was dark and it was, had this energy and this vibe. And I kept hearing the word jazz and feeling jazz music. That's what I was doing. And I'm telling her this. And she freaking says to me, "Do you know what I do?" I said, "No, I don't have a clue what you do." She said, "I'm a jazz singer." Okay. And that was, again, this, "You're doing it, Laura. Good job. You're tuning in." And it happens frequently. And it wouldn't happen if I still lived in fear, or if I was still doubting, or I was still pushing it away. I think the biggest thing was I was trying to push it away for a while, and that is not recommended. You can't push away a part of your programming. Like, you can't ignore it. You have to embrace that and utilize it, especially for me when it's my heart and my mind. Like, I have to be in tune with these two, or I felt crazy. It was affecting my relationships. It was affecting my judgment. I wasn't able to decipher like people who were good for me and weren't good for me. I was making bad choices all around because I was not tuning in to the messages and to the path I was supposed to be on and what I was supposed to be doing. And I kept attempting to rescue people from themselves and save people instead of tuning into my own self and my own needs. And so what I've discovered is that really the path to spirituality, the path through our own humanness and to connect with spirit, is truly living your life. Not the life that your parents wanted, not the life you think you should, but living the life that lights you up. Living the things that really fulfill you and light your smile, your heart space. Those are the things to lean into, because when I'm doing what I do, when I'm really tuning into spirit and giving messages and sharing my knowledge, Gemini moon, Mercury and Pisces in the 11th house, yes please, those are very prominent, and I want to share my heart knowledge, my mind knowledge, my compassionate knowledge, my healing knowledge. Like, I want to share it. And then my Gemini rising just adds to that. When I'm doing that and I'm doing the share and I'm working with clients, it's this joy inside of me. I don't even know if I can describe. Even when we're deep in the emotions and I'm making them cry and I'm crying with them, like, even then, it is still this profound joy that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm being a unique, independent entrepreneur weirdo who listens to spirit and helps people be authentic and find their fire and set healthy boundaries and step into their authentic, unique self, which is literally my programming. Literally what I'm supposed to do. And I feel amazing doing it. Amazing. It feels great. It lights me up. And that's the thing. If we follow that thing that lights us up and do our unique birth chart in the highest vibration that we can, disclaimer, right? We can all be asshats and do the low vibration. I don't recommend that. But in the highest vibration that we can for the, at the pace or timing of life that we're in, that's all we can do. That's the thing here. That's the thing in Earth School. And my journey through spirituality to spirituality is certainly not done, but it's something that I'm very, very connected to, and I definitely know I am here to wake people up to this and help them find their community, help them find their connection, whether that's with my Cosmic Mama community, with the Cosmic Mama Collective online, where we talk all things. Last night we did a class on, it's called Support from the Stars, where we talk about spiritual health. And what does spiritual health look like? What is it? How do we do it? How do we practice it? So that's one of the gatherings that we do each month. So I'm helping mamas find themselves kind of through their parenting journey, using their parenting journey to experience all of the beauty of themselves as we learn and grow and expand. And so my job is literally to help people find their community. That's my MC in Aquarius, and then partially Pisces, and my Venus is there. I love doing it. I value it. If you don't have part of or find yourself in a community that really represents you or supports you, let me know. Reach out to me. I can help you find something, help you find people. It's really a skill of mine. I don't even know how I do it. I just do it. All that Gemini and Aquarius in me, man, I can find people. I should have been a detective in life to find people. But it's something I am really gifted at that I love, but it only happened when I really started to embrace all of this part of me, and that includes the weirdo spirituality stuff, that I can talk to spirit and I can hear them and see their images and feel their feels and whatever message they want to get through. And I'm here to also help others who are waking up to that, because it can be scary, and I don't think you need to go in a psych ward. But if you got spirit people telling you, the names of family members of people you don't know, like, you're gifted. You're not crazy. You're gifted. You're talented. You're skilled in speaking with things that are beyond our vision. Doesn't mean they don't exist. Radio waves are beyond my vision. Internet, Wi-Fi is beyond my vision. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to my rambling ram today. I hope it was helpful and something that you can identify with or share with somebody that maybe that's waking up to their abilities and is feeling a little bit lost. Let me know. We can help support you through our Patreon. We can help support you in the Cosmic Mama Collective, or maybe you just need a reading just to see what's going on in your chart and what's being woken up in your chart too. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week with RamGoatAstrology. Take care.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of RamGoatAstrology. You can support the show by buying us a coffee or a tea. Link in the show notes. Your financial support means the world to us. Join us next time.